So, what it really is that you get to decide who you are. Um, you have the power to be who you are. No one can take that away. And yet, when you learn immediately in childhood that you don't have any power, it's not necessarily easy to reclaim your power, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm thinking about it as I processed through another one of my triggers where I ended up doing something from a low vibration. And how much shame there is around that. So I look at the world today in a whole, and I see a lot of shame where people stay in situations, they do things that cause a lot of shame and guilt. And some of us react differently. Some of us internalize it. Some of us dissociate. Some of us project it. Some of us do a variety of all those things. And as I say this, I start shaking because I'm having an anxiety attack. You see, when someone who lives in a world that is just full of energy and can sense that, but then immediately from birth that energy is taken from you, it is the most traumatic thing. And I'm looking at, for the first time, I'm looking at my trigger in the way that I reacted as a parent is supposed to look at their child. And like the creator looks at their child. And that's not what usually happens in the world. And that's where we get really, really messed up. That's where we are not living from our heart chakra. That's what it is. We're stuck in our head. We're stuck in our ego. We're not able to push forward because we have all of these egoic blocks to things, whatever they may be. And that's just how we've coped. Because in order to live in the society that we live in, it requires a pristine sense of denial. The fact that money is more important, wealth and prestige is more important than a human life. And I've always been a relational person. The thing that sucks is when I came onto this planet, I was way too trusting and way too much like a child. I'm being sarcastic. You can't tell. So I didn't know what it was like here. But I think what was so funny was even though all that happened, I still trusted inherently that this place, that these people around really matter and really have a perspective. And when you start allowing yourself as a starseed, as someone who sees energy and understands things from like this different perspective with your third eye, you start seeing other people's third eye and how they're like clouded over, and how they're, and I understand why I was asleep. I understand it, and I understand the symbolism now. But I feel like we get so stuck on the mental and the physical. This stuff, like this stuff, like this doesn't matter. Like, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful that it exists, but I'm thankful for the hands that made this, which is probably from China. Yeah, it was made in a factory. But I'm thankful for those hands, and yet I will never see those hands. And that is what is inherently so bittersweet about who we are. Because when you're an empath, and energy is siphoned from you immediately, you just don't understand the world. And you learn to survive. Because survival is connected to your paternal and maternal parents here in this plane. So that is what's actually happening. Like when we incarnate here, we're taking on their energy. And we become who we are because of them and all of our ancestors. And we forget that our ancestors are there cheering us on. And when people transition, they're still right there. They're still right there. We all know that. You know, I've just turned it off. I've turned it way off because it's scary. It's fucking scary here. There's demons everywhere. Not maybe demons because it's all part of our consciousness, but this is being projected from us as a whole. My little shirt. But yeah, that's my emotions for today. Fuck these eclipses, for real though. It's like, how can you not be awake right now? Like, come on. But at the same time, I understand it because I've been asleep. And I think people who've been awake a long time, it's like almost like muggles and like the wizards. It's almost kind of like a racist type of thing. It's like, oh, I'm awakened, so... And then we talk about the collective as if we're not part of the collective. Like, everything is part of us. Even the people that I hate are part of me. Even Donald Trump is part of me. Even the pedophiles are part of me. Like, all of that is part of my consciousness because they are part of my consciousness. Like, I know I'm right. I know I'm right. Like, because I know that I'm like I feel like I'm the only one who sees it. But that's what it is. It's like, and that's why I have such an easy time calling people out. And that's why I think I was a special ed teacher for so long, was because those kids are assholes, but there's a reason behind it, and you as a teacher have to be creative and find ways to break through that shell of defense mechanisms. And I think that's what compassion and like that heart chakra really is, where it's like we're really coming down from like this dual consciousness into like an acceptance of all. And when you allow your heart chakra to be open, when you surround yourself with that feeling, things happen and things change. And you know, with the whole twin flame thing, like that awakens you. And it's really not about, I mean, it is about the relationship, but really it's about like the mirror that they show you, you know. And this time I mean, because me and my twin just met up, and it was like, I was like, what am I gonna learn this time? And I realized I'm an asshole. Because he's an asshole. And I'm like, we mirror each other. So it's like, things just like lined up perfectly too. I'm like, what's gonna happen between these eclipses? Because like, it's not gonna be easy. I was not prepared. Like, well, yes, I was, because I'm fine now. And I needed to, you know, it's all about learning compassion about yourself, for yourself. Because if you don't have compassion for yourself, then you can't have compassion for anyone else. If you love, doesn't Buddha say that? If you love yourself, then you'll be able to love everyone else. So yeah, that's exactly what we need to do. So no matter what a shithead you are, no matter if you killed someone, if you raped someone, no matter if you boinked a cow, like, like, yes, I agree. Like, I don't like it, but that's why there needs to be light shown on it, is so that it can come forward and it can be okay, and that there's no reason to hide or manipulate or steal or get what you need or what you think is love, which isn't love. That's what it is. And you can use your righteous anger. Don't be afraid to use your righteous anger, because people are dickheads. And that's part of our own egos too, is we think we're doing right and we think we might be having justice. So we end up doing dickhead things. So, yeah, stand up for those who are weak. Call out someone when they hurt you. And don't be afraid of conflict, because conflict, it's a part of all of us. And that's just a chemical reaction. I mean, look at us. We're not... Does anyone ever just stare at their hand? Like, I know that's like cliche and like weird, but like, look at that thing. It has so many lines, so many like integral parts and bones. And we're technology. We have so much technology. We have telepathy. My twin and I have telepathy. It's so weird. Like, I cannot not describe it. Like, I cannot. And, like, if you see what it is if you hate someone, if you know there's like dishonesty or something going on, and you avoid it, then you're not accepting or putting light on it. You know, I'm guilty of it too. I mean, that's my whole life. It's been a lot of manipulation. Like with guys, like, fuck, like, I know how to manipulate a guy easily. And that's not okay. Like, why should I have to resort to that? And I have multiple times. And that's what's so weird about my twin, is like, he kind of woke me up from that and put a lot of light on it. And it was like, what are you doing? Why are you treating people like this? And then I thought, maybe if we're just together, then everything will be fine. And it's like, no, of course it blew up, because the way that I did it, the way that I treated the people that trusted me, no. Like I messed it up. Like, I really messed it up. And I'm sorry for that. I really, truly am. I really, truly am. And I think that's, have you ever guys done like the Ho'oponopono thing? It's like, I love you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. That's what it is. I forgive you too. I forgive you is in there too. And it's like it's a whole cycle, because we do this thing. It's a dance. It's a relationship. We hurt each other and we can dance. I'm sorry, but I forgive you. I forgive you. I understand that was hard. Like, I understand. And that just doesn't happen a lot in the world, where we actually take the time to see one another and feel one another and hear one another. Because we're too busy with our things, our stuff. All of us. No matter how spiritual you are. I can see how Jesus got pissed off at the Pharisees and the people that talked so much, but they have no actions to their words. Like, it's one thing to talk about energy and compassion and self-care. It's another thing to do it, to step out and to be your masculine self. And I'm at like the precipice. Like, I have to get out. Like, I have to use my masculine energy, and it's just something that was beaten out of me since childhood. Don't you dare. Don't you dare talk back to me. Don't you dare have any boundaries. That's just the life that I lived. So until I stand up in my own energy and in my own confidence, like, those triggers will keep happening. That's the truth of it. Those triggers are real. They hurt. And they hurt for a reason, so we can grow. And to look at the fact that I'm being an asshole. But also to look at from the other perspective and be like, you people are kind of assholes, and I understand why I reacted the way I reacted. Because it's about pleasantries and love and light, and that's just not how the world is. Like, there's a nighttime too. We have the light time and we have the nighttime. And that's all of us. Every single one of us. The dark and the light. I almost started taking my meds again today. I'm just like, get this third eye down. Go down. I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to feel anymore. I'm like overly sensitive. No, I'm not. That's it. I'm not overly sensitive. I am who I am, who I am, who I am. And I'm a sensitive being. I pick up on shit. And I become an asshole sometimes to project it off of me, because it's like, I don't want this. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to be the one to have to say anything, because when I have done it in the past, it's like, oh no, we're just not going to listen to you. No, you're stupid. Shh. What are you talking about? You know, like that kind of stuff. So that's why it was so good when I was a teacher, because I was like, I was in charge and I could make split second decisions that needed to happen. And the only thing is, like, I didn't understand I was an empath at that time. Like, I knew it was different, but I had never heard that word before ever. And when I did, it was like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. You know, and I've been eating my feelings, and I don't know. It's just so funny, because I understand, like, everything outside of me is a projection of what I feel is happening. But there's like a need to project it a little bit back to the other person. Because if you take it all on, then you're not being true to yourself. Like, you're just laying down and not giving a fuck, like not able to say what you need to say. And it's just like, come on, let's say what we need to say and do what we need to do. And yeah, so that inner masculine in me is coming out. I can feel him. You know, that's the DM. And maybe that's why I'm shaking right now. Because maybe he's going through something. I know I really triggered him. And those of you who are twin flames and have like addiction and really childhood trauma connected to your paternal family, you understand it. It's not easy. It's not easy being green. Which means that your heart chakra is way out there. And when you work with the public too, which I just got back from work, it's like, ooh, it was weird. There was like a lot of just riled up energy, but it came out in like, people are wanting to do good. I mean, I had a lot of donations today, which was really cool. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because there is a large portion of the collective who are just okay with it. And they're okay with change. And if we actually gave people a room for dialogue and a room for conflict dissolution, then we'd be fine. Like, because human beings, if we feel heard, if we feel understood, if we feel seen, we're okay, you know. And when I was with my twin, I really didn't want to see him. I didn't. So I know that was like a reflection of this part of me that I don't want to see, which is my shadow side, which is just mine. And it's the only thing I can change. But that means that I'm not going to take on anyone else's shadow, you know? So that's just the truth of it.